Okay, here we are for part 2 of my little garden makeover, and Kara was gracious enough to go pick up these beautiful pansies for me. The original plan was to put snapdragons, but when he got there they were not very many and they didn't look very good and they were kind of leggy, and I like to use young plants because they've got to get through the winter. So we opted for the pansies, and you can see I have them kind of placed in a pattern. We've got 2 yellow and 2 purple, or you can, do every other color. I like to put them in rows, where it's sort of like a stripe of purple, because once they fill in, once they're down in there and they fill in, they're going to get thick, and then you're going to have every other row, of one or the other color. And so, as you can see, the iris are doing pretty good. They're getting through it, and they're going to need a little water tonight. We were supposed to have rain today, but we didn't get it. And but they are looking good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put them in the ground, and because we're like at 5 o'clock this evening, I don't have much time before it gets dark. You see, I've already placed a couple in the well of the little French tower, and I think that once it's all in here, it's going to be pretty. And these are hardy plants that will make it through the winter. If we start getting some snow and ice, I can always cover them with leaves or mulch, and that will protect them. They won't bloom a whole lot, but then they'll come back in February or March, and they'll bloom pretty good. These are some nice healthy plants he got. So I'm going to get busy, and when I'm done, I'll come back and we'll see what it looks like at that point. And too, while I was doing this, I wanted to show you how I usually when I get the bedding plants out of the little pots, I'll kind of pull apart down here at the bottom. These are pretty damp. They're really, really healthy. And I kind of spread the roots out a little bit. It's never killed them before, so I guess I'm still doing things okay. But I kind of spread it out. Of course, I need to dig this one deeper. But I've gotten a start here. I've got 2 purple, then I'm going to do 2 yellow, and then I'll continue that on. I've got a purple and yellow, and then I'll continue on 2 purple and 2 yellow. And I think that will probably work. But I get them out of there. Look at this one. I mean, this was 1 4-inch pot, and it really it is some plant. I'm going to put it right here in the front, and I'm hoping these things will be pretty bright. I'm sure they will once they take and everything. This is just an amazing group of pansies. They sure didn't come from here, from Fort Worth. So I'm going to continue on and get my plantings finished before it gets too dark. And we'll talk to you later.
Well, this happens to be the only hard-working woman I know. She's digging in the dirt, making this fantastic video for you folks to look at. She has no earth's idea that I'm videoing her. But if you check it out, let me zoom up just a little bit here. Oh yeah, there she is. Turn around here. There you go. Ah, there we go. Wasn't pushing the button hard enough.
Okay, so I think we're good here. I've got them all in, and as you can see, I don't know, they're kind of just alternating colors. I tried to get just sort of at a diagonal the purples and the yellows, And I did add some potting mix, some of this potting mix. It's really pretty thin. But it really adds good consistency and texture to your soil, and helps hold the water, helps keep the dampness in. So we've got this in. I'm going to have to rinse off once again my rock. And Cairo had treated the ants that I had problems with yesterday. Right here in the front is where the little ants were, and he got something and got rid of them yesterday. So I didn't even have one encounter this evening. And then I wanted to show you over here. Here's my vinca, well, some of my vinca major. It has just come back. It will die back in the winter. It will come back in the spring and put on little purple periwinkles. But this stuff will grow just about anywhere. And I've noticed it sprouted up over here by this little rock wall. And you can transplant it too. You can dig it up, put it somewhere else, and it'll grow. You can pot it. You can put it in pots, and it'll grow, but it will die back. And so you won't really have it in the winter. And then in the early spring, it'll come again. So that's something to look forward to. In the meantime, I'll get this watered. Then I'll go in and have a cup of coffee. We're going to keep an eye on it. I hope you got some enjoyment or something out of the little lesson. And I have plenty more to do, plenty of other beds to redo. I hope you didn't mind the stuttering. I'm not used to talking to a camera or to people. So this is a first for me. But I thought you might enjoy seeing how I do a few things. And the next one I do, I'll be sure to invite you to join me. And thank you very much. Hi y'all, it's me, Susan, and I'm back at the scene of the crime, where, as you recall, I cleaned out this little flower bed and captured some iris from the back 40 of my yard. And I can't guarantee what color they are. I'm thinking most of them are probably white. There could be a few yellow. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now they're doing pretty good. It's a few days later. They're doing pretty good. And we got the pansies in. I got the pansies in, and they're looking pretty good. So now all we have to do is sit back and watch the progression. Here's my little squirrel that I've had for a long time, and I always just keep him on this rock. See, he's got a broken foot, but I just couldn't make myself get rid of him. So he's just going to go back on the rock. You really can't see his broken foot from it being on the inside. And then I placed my little cherub back in his favorite spot. I'm push him up a little bit. He's been in this spot for quite a while, even though he has been moved around some in the yard. Now, I haven't mulched the pansies yet, and we're still having excuse me, mild weather in the 60s. And we did have to cover the flower bed up. See, isn't that pretty? And that just really sets off the little pot in the French tower. But it's been mild. We covered them up 2 nights because it got down to like 38. So that's it for this little project. And I hope you really enjoyed it. I'm glad to have you aboard. And in the future, the next time I plan a project and start working on it, maybe you'll want to come along and visit that one too. I'm going to leave you now with this thought. This comes from my mother in Kansas City, one of her tips on gardening. And she says to start small and grow what you know. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to see